Rachel, why would you do such a thing? I didn't expect you to become so violent all of a sudden. Why did you punch me in the face? I still can't get over what you did to me. It's unforgivable. What did I do to deserve this?
Oh, it's you. You deserved to be punched. I didn't do anything wrong.
I was supposed to have a nice dinner with my family to celebrate my mother's 60th birthday. That's why I reserved that sushi restaurant. You ruined the party by punching me in the face. And did you really have to go out of your way to insult my mother and I?
Did I? I don't recall. I remember being honest about my feelings. There's nothing wrong with that. Your family didn't belong at that nice restaurant. I was just letting you know that you were out of place. You were making the other customers uncomfortable. That's why I asked you to leave, but you wouldn't listen. That sushi restaurant has a Michelin star. A poor family like you is not supposed to dine there, and you should know that.
Do you realize how ridiculous you're being? It's not like you own the restaurant. I had a reservation. I had every right to be there. Besides, I had no idea I was going to bump into you. You could have just left me and my family alone. Why did you have to cause us trouble? You owe me an apology for ruining my mother's birthday dinner.
Why in the world do I need to apologize? It's not a crime to speak my mind. That's why I hate poor people. You're all so disorientated.
I think that I have every right to ask you to apologize for what you did. And don't you know it's a crime to punch someone in the face? You're the one that's disoriented.
You should apologize to me for being poor and reserving a restaurant that was way out of your league. The restaurant should have never accepted your reservation. They should have put up a no poor customer sign. I didn't go to that nice sushi restaurant to dine with commoners like you. You deserved to be punched in the face. I didn't commit a crime.
Okay, whatever. I still have a headache because you punched me. Let me just say this. You don't need to apologize to me, but you need to apologize to my mother. That's all I ask.
Let me say this again. I'm not the one who has to apologize here. You should be apologizing to me for ruining my dinner. Did I punch you too hard? Is that why your brain is malfunctioning? It was hilarious seeing you bump your head into the corner of the table. Made a great sound, too. Why don't you go get your brain checked at the hospital? Maybe they can help you fix your stupidity. Oh, that's right. You're too poor to go to the hospital.
Rachel, please answer my call. I need to tell you something important.
Oh, it's you again, Claire. What do you want now? Are you trying to tell me that I was right about everything? Do you now admit that you're poor and I'm rich? We live in two different worlds. I'm amazed you finally understand where I'm coming from.
Please pick up the phone.
What if I don't want to? I don't have time to speak to a poor person on the phone. So stop calling me. I'm not gonna pick up. You ignored my previous chat messages, so why should I have to take your calls? You're very intrusive, and I just don't have time to be dealing with someone like you.
Okay, fine. I'll stop calling you then. I want to know why you punched me the other day, although I didn't deserve it. What did I or my family do to upset you so much?
You really are stupid, aren't you? I told you my reasons the other night, don't you remember?
Just tell me why.
I was supposed to have a nice evening out and eat some delicious sushi when you and your poor family showed up and ruined everything. That's why I punched you. Are you satisfied now?
Actually, no. All we did was go to a sushi restaurant to celebrate my mother's birthday. We didn't even come over to speak to you, so I don't understand how we did anything wrong. We didn't do anything to ruin your dinner.
You may not have spoken to me, but your presence at the restaurant made me sick. That's how you ruined my dinner. You weren't supposed to be at a nice restaurant like that. You and your poor family don't belong there. I chose to eat out at that expensive sushi restaurant so that way I wouldn't have to run into poor people like you, but I did. Poor people shouldn't be allowed to make a reservation at that restaurant. And that restaurant is one of my favorites, and it bothered me to see you there. That's why I punched you. You got on my nerves.
You're right. And that current chef at the sushi restaurant likes to serve expensive dishes. I heard that despite the prices, many young customers like to dine there because it's hip and trendy. I was properly dressed and I didn't do anything to make the other customers uncomfortable about my presence. I don't think that I made anyone upset by going to the restaurant. You were just out to get me for your own selfish reasons.
I'm sure that the other customers didn't want you at the restaurant too. I did everyone a favor by letting you know that you weren't welcome.
The chef knew that I was reserving the restaurant for my mother's birthday. The restaurant owner was more than happy to accommodate us. Don't you realize that you were the one that made the other customers uncomfortable by creating a scene and punching me in the face?
I didn't make anyone uncomfortable. You did that. You should apologize to me. I'm wasting my time talking to you. This conversation is going nowhere. You are so irritating.
I'd like to know why you think that my family and I are so poor. There were times when I had some money troubles, but not anymore.
Don't pretend to be something that all the other moms at school know that you were raised by a single mother. Your father left your mother for another woman, right? She had to work several jobs to take care of you. You can't deny any of that. I feel sorry for you and your mother. I'm sure that neither of you chose to be poor. But I probably would have killed myself if I were in your shoes. You grew up poor and you're still poor. Being poor isn't something that you can overcome. Your son is poor too because he's related to you. I wish that he didn't go to the same school as my son.
Oh, so the mothers at school are gossiping about the fact that my father left my mother when I was young? But you have it all wrong. That's not true. I did grow up in a single-parent household, but my parents didn't separate because of an affair. My father was in a terrible accident.
But that still makes you poor all the same. How did you even know about that sushi restaurant? That restaurant is for rich people like me. I'm amazed that you were able to get a reservation. If I were you, I'd feel out of place at a restaurant like that. I'd be too nervous to eat there. You have some nerve.
The restaurant has sentimental value to us. We used to eat there as a family when I was a child. That's why I chose that restaurant for my mother's 60th birthday. I wanted it to be special.
You're too funny. I haven't laughed that much in a while. I guess you needed to make up fake memories in your mind to cope with the fact that your father dumped you and your mother when you were young. You poor thing. I'm sure that what you said about your father being in an accident is a lie, too.
You're the one that believed all the gossip out there about our family. What you heard isn't the truth.
Fine. Have it your way. Either way, you still didn't belong at that sushi restaurant. I just want to make that clear. I'm sure there were other cheaper sushi restaurants that you could have reserved. You didn't have to go out of your way to reserve one of my favorite restaurants. That's what I'm mad about. It's a miracle that your mother lived to see 60. Poor people like you aren't contributing to society in any real way. You're all just trash. You should have punched your mother as well. Then maybe you would have gotten my message loud and clear. I wouldn't care if she dropped dead. Claire, tell me what's going on. Why are you suing me and for what? My lawyer called me and said that you are suing me and that you're also going to file a report with the police? And the sushi restaurant is suing me too. None of this is my fault. I know that you lied and made it look like it was all my fault. You need to fix this, Claire. I didn't lie. I did what I had to. You're finally getting the punishment that you deserve. You should have never treated me unfairly. I notified the police and I am suing you. The restaurant blames you for the damage that you caused them for being violent with me inside the restaurant. Claire, why are you being so over the top? Are you making such a big deal out of this because you want money from me? If it's money that you're after, we can settle this privately. I'm more than happy to pay you. There is no need for you to sue me. I don't want my husband to find out about this and get the wrong idea about me. Actually, this isn't Claire. And I have no reason to listen to anything that you say to me. Huh? Who am I texting then? My name is Melanie. I'm Claire's mother. I didn't have your phone number, so I borrowed my daughter's phone to get in touch with you. You tricked me, you old hag! I want to speak to Claire, not you! You're right about me having had to raise Claire on my own. But it's not because my husband cheated on me. He died in an accident. Raising Claire on my own wasn't easy, and we didn't have much money, so I guess you could say that we were poor. But I raised Claire with love, no matter how hard it was for me. I didn't have time to take care of myself, and I worked day and night. Claire means the world to me, and I won't have you bully my daughter like this. I was thrilled when she offered to organize a birthday dinner for me at our favorite sushi restaurant. But then you came along and ruined it for us. And you committed the biggest crime of all. You took away my precious daughter. I won't ever forgive you for what you did, and I'm going to make sure that you rot in hell. Could you please stop pestering me? I want to speak to Claire. You're not making any sense to me. You must be senile or something. Taking me to court is going to be too expensive for a poor family like you. Let's just settle this privately. If you're going to bother to put up a fight, I'll hire a great lawyer and win the case. If you don't want to lose, you need to drop this. How many times do I have to tell you that I want to speak to Claire and not you? Money isn't an issue for me. I have plenty. Look, you don't need to continue to pretend to be someone that you're not. I know that you're poor. Stop lying. I got the life insurance money for Claire. What? But I don't want any money. I want my beautiful daughter back. Why did you have to kill her? What has she ever done to you? Huh? What are you saying? Claire can't be dead. We just texted each other a few days ago. That's not funny. Stop making crazy jokes. The night of my birthday dinner, you punched Claire in the face, and she fell and hit her head on the corner of a table. She was fine for a while, but due to internal bleeding inside her head, she died. You killed her. I should have known something was wrong, because Claire told me that she had a headache that wouldn't go away. I told her to go to a hospital to see if there was any internal bleeding, but she told me she was fine and ended up not going. She also didn't want you to gossip about her at school anymore. She didn't want to be an embarrassment to her son, which is why she thought that going to the hospital would be a bad idea, because it might cause you to start spreading rumors about her again. She told me that if her headache didn't get better after some rest, she would go to the hospital for a checkup. Claire had a hard time growing up when people around her spread rumors about why I was a single parent. I guess she didn't want to do the same to her own son. I never expected Claire to fall asleep on her couch and never wake up again. Words can't begin to describe how I'm feeling right now. I went to check up on her because she wouldn't wake up, but when I touched her, it was already cold. I called the ambulance right away, but it was already too late. Her doctor told me that she died because of the blow to her head. You murderer! Monster! I only punched her. I didn't expect her to fall down and hit her head. It was an accident. It's her fault that she fell. No, it's not. You should have never punched her in the first place. Your punch is what caused her to fall and hit her head. It's because of your selfishness and short-sightedness that I lost my daughter and my grandson, his mother. I'm going to use her insurance money to make sure that you get the punishment that you deserve. I lost everything because of you, and I am no longer afraid of anything. There's too much information here, and I'm getting confused. Stop babbling, old woman. I bet you made this all up just to make me suffer. You just want to see me suffer. If only it were a lie. If Claire were still alive, I wouldn't feel so hopeless. Let's not waste any time bringing this to court. I'll pay you money. How much do you want? I'm loaded, so name your price. I don't want to settle this privately. I'm taking this to court. I'm going to sue you and take all of your money. I need you to suffer for what you did to Claire. Don't be so overdramatic. Money isn't an issue for me. My husband is a scion. Once I give you what you want, I demand that you leave me and my family alone. We're important people unlike your family. I'm sorry to have to say this to you, but your importance in society is measured by how much money you have. I can pay someone to make all this go away, so I suggest we go with my plan of settling privately. That's what's best for both of us. I may not be as rich as you, Rachel, but I have something that you don't. I am sick and tired of talking to you. Can we just sort this out and get it over with? There's nothing that you could have which I don't possess already.
Oh, I have many more years of life experience than you. And I also have a great group of friends. I'm assuming you don't have many friends. When I had to work hard to provide for Claire, I didn't have many options, so I ended up taking on several jobs to make enough money. Through those jobs, I met many types of people. And after they heard about what you did to Claire, they all want to help me out. I know some people that can help me make your life a living hell.
You're not serious, are you? That's supposed to be a threat? I won't believe anything until I actually see you in action. You should take my offer while it's still on the table. Why are you ignoring me all of a sudden? Pick up the phone, you old hag! I need you to explain to me what's going on right now.
I thought you didn't want to speak to a poor person like me. What do you want?
Shut up! That sushi restaurant is suing me for a ridiculous amount of money! You told them to raise the amount, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I had nothing to do with that. They asked me about what happened to Claire, and I merely told them the truth.
I know that you convinced them to sue me for more money. They're asking me to pay over $100,000. That's absurd!
If you think that the amount is unfair, you should take it up with your lawyer. I mean, money isn't an issue for you, am I right? I think that the amount is fair, considering all the damage that you've caused to that restaurant.
How is any of this fair? This is unheard of. You're crazy!
If anyone is crazy, it's you. When you punched Claire, you broke some things at the restaurant, and some of the customers were afraid to go back to the restaurant because of your violent act. The restaurant lost business because of you. But now that Claire is dead, the reputation of the sushi restaurant is going to go down even more. No one wants to eat at a place that was a murder scene. Would you consider eating at a restaurant where someone died?
I wouldn't.
Claire didn't exactly die at the restaurant, but she died because of what happened there. That sushi restaurant was very popular, but after what you did, no one is going to want to eat there. The owner told me that they are moving the restaurant to a new place, and they might even have to change the name of the business. They need a new start. It's going to cost them a lot of money to start over. 100 grand probably won't even begin to cover all the costs.
I shouldn't have to pay for their move and all their new equipment. That's not fair.
They wouldn't have had to move if you hadn't killed Claire. You started this nightmare, and you need to take responsibility for your actions.
I don't care about Claire's death. It doesn't affect me. I'm pissed off about the fact that a poor person like you is giving me such a hard time. I don't deserve any of this. To be honest, I don't care if my husband finds out about this. It was an accident and he'll believe me. Besides, you don't have any proof that I committed murder, so the police won't come after me. I'm the one that's going to sue you for defamation. You better be prepared because you're the one that's going to rot in hell.
Go ahead and sue me. I don't care. I have nothing left to lose. I hope that your husband doesn't leave you after he finds out about all the crimes that you've committed.
I hired a lawyer for you, and you have the audacity to say no to the settlement that I proposed? How could you?
I told you from the beginning that I had no intention of settling this privately. I'm taking you to court. I will never forgive you for what you did to Claire. I will spend the rest of my life making sure that you suffer for your crimes.
You first got in touch with me and pretended to be Claire. That in of itself is a crime. I'm suing you for defamation and fraud.
I never said that I was Claire, and I told you right away that I was using her account because that's the only way that I could get in touch with you. And had you picked up any of my calls, you would have known right away that I wasn't Claire. Also, if you had gotten in touch with Claire to see if she was okay after you punched her, you would have known that she was dead. Why are you even texting me right now? Aren't you in a lot of trouble? I heard that your husband is suing you too. Even if you file for bankruptcy, you're still obligated to make compensatory payments to your victims. I'm sure that now that your husband is leaving you, you'll need to work for the rest of your life to pay everyone back.
Are you the one that told my husband about my affair? I was doing a great job of hiding it from him until you went and told him. He's divorcing me because of what you did. How could you do this to me? You're evil! Do you enjoy seeing me in pain?
You're the one that turned me into a monster. Now all you can do is work hard to pay everyone back. You have it easy. Nowadays, many women work, so I'm sure you'll be able to find a job. It wasn't so easy for me. You're feisty, so I think you'll have no problem moving up the corporate ladder. That is, if no one does a background search on you. If they do, you're screwed.
What do you mean by that? Actually, I don't even care because I know that I'll find a new rich man that'll take care of me. I'm not going to slave away like you. That's not in my cards. Why are the police at my house? Did you call them? I told you not to get the police involved.
Well, I never said that I'd listen to anything that you'd say. You're so full of yourself. What makes you so self-righteous? You committed murder. You're not going to get away with it. Even an idiot would know that. You said that poor people aren't relevant in society, but I think that we have a higher status than criminals. Now you're at the bottom of society.
Okay, fine. I'll give you what you want. I'll apologize and I'll give you all my money. Are you happy now? I didn't think Claire would get hurt. I only punched her once and I'm not even that strong. Please ask the police not to arrest me.
Are you trying to justify the fact that you punched Claire? I looked into your past and I found that this wasn't the first time that you've hit someone. And I submitted all the evidence that I found to the police.
Why did you have to go and do that?
I told you that I would do everything in my power to make your life hell. You got what you deserved.
Now the police are coming to my door. Please help me. I won't disrespect you anymore. I promise not to be violent and I won't bully poor people. Please forgive me.
I suggest that you sit in your prison cell and contemplate all the mistakes that you've made in your life. I never want to hear from you again. Goodbye, Rachel.
Why are you doing this to me? You need to fix this. This is not what I signed up for. Melody!
Rachel never contacted me after that and she was arrested. Claire wasn't Rachel's only victim. There were many others in the past that fell victim to Rachel's violent outbursts. I'm certain that Rachel won't be released from prison anytime soon. And even if she were, she still needs to make compensatory payments to me, the sushi restaurant, and her ex-husband. Claire, I spoke to your husband, and we both decided that it'd be best that you rest in the same grave as your beloved father. I still can't get over the fact that I lost both you and my husband, and it made me sad to think that getting revenge was the only thing that kept me going. I didn't enjoy getting revenge because it made me a terrible person. I don't think I'll be able to see you and your father up in heaven when I die. I thought of taking my own life, but your son helped me to get through all of this. You must be worried about how your son Sean is doing after he lost you. Of course, Sean was devastated like me, and for a while he wouldn't leave the house. But even in his great sadness, he came over to me and said, "Grandma, please continue to stay with us for as long as you can. I don't want you to die like my mother did." That's when I realized that I didn't have time to be feeling sorry for myself. but I had to take care of your husband and Sean. And I didn't want Sean to worry about me. He had enough worries of his own. Sean comes to my house after school every day, and when his father is finished with work, his father comes to pick Sean up at my house. He's not over losing, but he has been going to school and studying hard. He also goes out with his friends on the weekend. He recently introduced me to his girlfriend as well. That was very sweet of him, so you don't need to worry about us. We're taking good care of each other. And Sean is growing up to be a great person. Claire, I might not be able to join you in heaven, but in the event that I do, will you celebrate my birthday again since we didn't get to the last time? I'll be with you after Sean is all grown up, and he no longer needs me. Please wait until then. I can't wait to see.
Good evening, Harvey. How are you?
Good evening. I'm great, thanks.
You must have had such a tough day at work today.
As the usual. How about you? Did you have a good day at work?
Yeah, it was great. What are you up to this evening? Do you have any plans?
I've just finished work, so I was planning on going home.
Have you had dinner yet? You must be hungry, right?
I've only just finished work, so I haven't eaten anything. I guess I'm pretty hungry, but I'm going to make dinner when I get home anyway, so it's not unmanageable.
Well, I'm free tonight. If you like, we could go out and have dinner. Do you remember the place by the station I told you about when we were on our date the other day? Well, I found a new French restaurant nearby. It looks lovely, and I can't wait to try it out. It's a little expensive, but I'd love to go with you. How about we try it out tonight?
Sorry, we only just ate out the other day. I don't want you to take this personally. I just don't really like spending a lot of money at restaurants on such a regular basis. I already prepared my dinner last night. I needed to leave it to soak for the night, so I was kind of looking forward to eating it for dinner today. I'm really glad you invited me, but I'll have to decline.
Uh-huh. You made something last night, and you're eating it again today? Do you mean that you're going to eat leftovers?
No, not leftovers. I prepared some beef last night and I wanted to let it marinate. It might sound like a long process, but the result is worth it.
Oh, really? Do you always make your own dinners?
Yeah, I enjoy cooking, so I'm always trying out new recipes. And I like the challenges of using up what's in my refrigerator to make dinner, rather than going out to eat or buying some stuff. Food keeping is more efficient that way too. Less waste and all.
Anyway, when do you want to go eat at that new French restaurant? I hear their duck foie gras is delicious.
You want to eat the duck foie gras, right?
Yes, I'd love to. Let's pick a day. I've been looking forward to eating there ever since I found out.
Well, I'm afraid I'm still not sure what my plans will be for work next week, and appointments come flying in at last minute, so I can't promise anything. I don't know when I'll have time to go out.
Even though I'm saying I really want to go, I'd like to go sometime this week. I'm sure you can make some time for me. You don't want to disappoint me, do you?
You want to go this week? That French restaurant is expensive, isn't it? Considering the ingredient used, the meal you specified is bound to cost a couple $100.
Yeah, I think it was around that much. What about it? Is there a problem? It's not too expensive for you, is it?
I haven't gotten my pay yet this month, so I'd prefer to go somewhere a bit more affordable. Like I said earlier, I don't really like spending a lot of money eating out. I'd be really grateful if you could respect that. I know a great tavern that's really cozy. We could go there.
Are you serious? You're being stingy. You did not just invite me to eat dinner at a tavern.
What do you mean I'm not being stingy? I just like to spend my money wisely when it comes to food.
can't believe you actually just said that. You eat at taverns? And you think that you're spending money wisely? Harvey, you said you're 35, right? You're 35, but you still don't have enough money to spare to take a girl on a date to a French restaurant before payday. Clearly that's because you haven't been spending your money on stuff that's worth it up until now.
So you want me to pay for the entire meal again, don't you? This is why I was trying to hint that I wasn't interested.
What do you mean, again? You paid for dinner last time because that's what guys should do. And you'll pay next time too because you'll still be a guy. If you don't understand something as simple as that, then that's why nobody wants to marry you. Maybe you should read How to Be a Gentleman for Dummies before we have our next date. How can you be so stingy overpaying for a few $100s for a meal at a French restaurant? Every other guy in the world would be happy to pay that much. I had set high expectations for you, but now I'm really disappointed. I can't believe you turned out to be such a Scrooge. You're a waste of my time and a piece of crap for denying me one lousy dinner at a French restaurant.
Sorry I couldn't match up to your impossibly high expectations.
I should have realized that you were no good when we went to that Italian restaurant on our date the other day. I was glad that you agreed to the restaurant that I wanted to go to. But you chose the cheapest course, didn't you? I checked the price on the website when I went home that night. It was the second to last option on the menu. It's a universal rule that restaurants put their cheapest options at the bottom of the menu. Why would you do something that cheap on our first date?
But you didn't even eat that course, so what's the problem? The second we sat down at our table and heard the waiter explain the course, you told me that you couldn't eat a lot, and asked me to change the option to a smaller but more expensive course. I had already made reservations, so I had to pay extra for the course that you asked for.
Oh, you're just making excuses and being cheap. What's the big problem? So what if you paid extra? Do you really think that you can find someone who'll marry you if you say stuff like that? You want to marry me, don't you? But at this rate, I don't think I'm hooked. My impression of you is only getting worse and worse. You'll have to do a bit better than that, or you'll lose all chances of getting married. Ever. So let me give you a hint. You should never invite a woman to eat at a tavern ever again. That kind of place is for poor people.
Why does it matter whether someone eats at a tavern or not? If it tastes good and I like the atmosphere, who cares how much the food costs?
That's not the problem. The problem is that I deserve more than just a dinner at a tavern. You can't make me eat somewhere so common. Do you understand how embarrassing it would be for me if someone caught me eating in a place like that? I graduated from a famous private college and I'm working in a major company as a private secretary. I'm the best at what I do, and want me to leave my career to be a housewife for you, you'll have to provide more than that. You need to put effort into making me feel like a princess, do you understand?
No, I don't understand. And I didn't know that you were so obsessed with wealth and with how other people see you. To be honest, I'm glad I found out before it was too late.
You may have chosen to go out with me because I look cute, but you should know that I'm not just a pretty face. I have a wonderful character, too. But what about you? You're 35, you're not that bad looking, I guess. You can pass as average. But you're cheap and you like to nitpick about where you eat, and you like to cook. With your salary, you should have a maid for that. But no, you do it all yourself. What are you, an old woman? I was shocked when you told me that you didn't want to go out to eat before your payday, too. You should have enough money saved up now to go eat whenever you want. Why do you have a problem with spending money?
I'm sorry, I didn't think you'd react this badly to how I spend my money and my free time. If you think that badly of me, then maybe we shouldn't talk to each other anymore. I'm not interested in going out to eat food with someone who'll insult me for how much I pay anyway. I want to enjoy my meals with someone, not impress them with a more expensive meal in a fancy restaurant.
Are you rejecting me? You've wasted so much of my time and you're just going to give up on dating me? You can't do that.
Well, I didn't mean to waste your time, but if that's what you think I've done, then maybe there's no saving this, or whatever this is.
You're unbelievable. You don't understand how I feel at all. Can't you be a bit more sympathetic?
Sorry about that.
On top of that, you were saying at a speed dating party that you earn $100,000. Was all that a lie? Did you just deceive me so that you could date me?
No, I didn't deceive you in particular. To be precise, I didn't earn 100,000, but
I knew it, you liar. I'm going to sue the host of that party. You should be more careful about who they allow to attend. I'll make sure you can never participate in another party like that ever again. And with that speed dating, you'll never find someone to marry you. A liar like you doesn't deserve a second chance. If you're already 35 and haven't already got a girlfriend, then you might as well give up. There's no hope for you. Nobody will ever want to be with you anyway. That's your punishment for wasting my time. You only get what you deserve.
you say that I wasted your time, but we only had one date together after the speed dating event. And it's not like we spent a lot of time together that night either. We went out to eat at that Italian place and went home afterwards. You're talking as though we've been dating for weeks. Plus, you're the one to talk when it comes to age. You're older than me, aren't you?
I can't believe you'd ask a girl how old she is. You're the most horrible person ever. I get it that you're not a gentleman, but don't you have any manners?
A girl? If you think that I'm old, then I think I have the right to argue that you're too old to consider yourself a girl. You said you were working at the Morris Corporation, right? I think you said that you were a private secretary.
Yeah, so what? What does that have to do with anything?
I happen to know the senior vice president of that company. I got the chance to meet up and talk with him the day before yesterday. I heard some really interesting stuff.
What? How on earth do you know him? Where could someone like you possibly have met him?
He informed me that there was no private secretary called Isabel Smith working there. What does that mean? You went on and on about me lying to you about my salary, but you lied to me about what your position is.
I'm not officially called a private secretary, but I do things that a private secretary is required to do. He can't have forgotten about me.
You say that, but what kind of stuff do you do? You don't seem to have made a great impression on your VP.
Well, for your information, I check schedules and prepare coffee for the people in the department. What else would a private secretary do?
Really? I guess that's all you can be entrusted to do.
What's so funny?
Nothing. I just thought that it's interesting that you're doing stuff that's usually left to the newbies. I would have expected a private secretary to be more involved and carry out more personal tasks that need more attention to detail than remembering how many sugars your employee wants in his coffee.
Are you looking down on my work? Don't be so rude. I'm proud of what I do. It may seem unimportant to you, but it actually makes a lot of difference.
I don't deny that even the simplest and smallest jobs are all part of the bigger picture, but if that's all you do, then I have some doubt about whether you're the best. I asked him about you.
Uh-huh? What did he say?
He told me that he had heard a lot about you from your colleagues.
Seriously? Has he been asking my colleagues about me? I wonder if he wants to go out with me. What else did he say?
He says that you stand out a lot. He mentioned how you wear really flashy clothes, despite only ever working in the office.
Yeah, well, I take care of the way I look. I'm always aiming to be my #1 self. Since I'm so pretty, I guess that means the guys can't keep their eyes off of me.
He also told me that you used to be pretty, but now, because of the way you dress, even if you were in the sales department, it would be too embarrassing for the company to send you out to visit clients if you were dressed like that. He said that he thought you needed to be more aware of your own age. That's pretty much what you said to me, so how does it feel to have your poison spat back at you?
What? He said that I'm embarrassing? Why would he say that? I thought you said he was interested in me.
I never said that, you just assumed. Anyway, I was really surprised when I heard this, but I found out that you entered the company in the same year as the VP. You entered the company after graduating college, and if you've been working the same number of years as him, then...
What about it?
If that's the case, then it doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense? Can you get to the point?
Your age, or the age you announced you were at the speed dating party. You told me that you were 38. But the funny thing is, the senior vice president told me he was 45 just the other day. You were lying about your age, weren't you?
He's just misremembering things. He didn't enter right after college. He was...
Yeah, he told me that he went abroad for 2 years after college before entering the company. But even then, that means he's been working at Morris for 22 years. You entered at 21, so plus 22 equals the sad truth you tried to hide.
How dare you try to calculate a girl's age? Just how insensitive are you?
You're not a girl anymore. If you at least owned your age, I would have had more respect for you. But instead, you just insulted me about my age and my spending habits. Even though every word would boomerang back to you. At first, you seemed nice, funny, and even smart. I wouldn't have cared if you had lied about your age because I would have understood that it had really bothered you. I wanted to talk with you more, but you just lashed out at me for not taking you to a French restaurant. You didn't even thank me for paying for the meal. And more the last time we ate, so I don't think I'm interested anymore. Let's forget this ever happened and go our separate ways.
That's my line. I don't want to date a man that lies about his salary. If you don't have enough money to keep up with my needs, then I would have dumped you someday anyways. But you really wasted my time.
It's true that I didn't write the exact amount that I make, but that doesn't mean that I make less than what I said. I actually make more. But I don't like bragging, and I just thought that any interactions I had at that party would be artificial if I was honest. So I took it down a few notches. I wanted to avoid women like you, but I guess I got caught anyway.
Huh? What are you talking about? I thought you were just a normal office worker.
Yeah, I did say that, but it's not like my position makes me any better than an office worker anyway. I didn't see the point in clarifying, but just for the sake of rubbing it in your face, I actually own a company. It's just a venture, so it's not that big, but for the past few years our numbers have been going up, so we've made quite a profit. I've been investing in property too, so I earn way more than the 100K I told you about. Unfortunately for you, I used to be poor, so I can't get out of the habit of being careful with how I spend my money, even though I have plenty to spare. I've been putting most of my earnings into a savings account, and I just withdraw a fraction of the total to use the bills and groceries. And I just withdraw a fraction of the total to use for bills and groceries. I honestly enjoy cooking, so I still prefer to make my own dinners rather than eat expensive meals at restaurants.
Thought you were just being cheap. I never knew you had a reason like that.
I spend money on stuff I need to, like my house, suits, and my car. But I don't see the point in spending money on stuff I don't need to. I don't think it's worth wasting my money on someone I have no intention of marrying to. Like a dinner at a French restaurant, for example.
You were deceiving me? But luckily for you, I'm willing to forgive you. I'll go with you to that tavern you were talking about if you really insist. I'll let everything you've said up until now slide.
What? I'm the one that's being forgiven? How merciful of you. And no, I don't insist. In fact, I insist that you never call me ever again.
What? Why? I've forgiven you for what you said. I'll let you take me to that place you said you wanted to go.
You're only saying all that because now you know that I own a company and make a lot of money. You're the exact type of woman I wanted to avoid at that party. That's why I lied about my salary. You were disgusted by the idea of eating at a tavern because it was beneath you. You only care about status and yourself, not me. I broke up with my girlfriend a few months back and I had finally regained a positive image of getting married. But I never thought that I would be insulted this much by a woman I only had one date with. I don't think I'll be going to any more speed dating parties. But I think I've done every other participant a favor by telling the host that you were lying about your job and your age.
What? You can't be serious.
I also warned them that you were verbally abusive and that your behavior was inappropriate for a grown adult. They've assured me that your application will be removed and your name will be put on the blacklist. I hope that this way you won't bother anybody else with the same crap.
What are you talking about? Wait a second, please. I've already been kicked out of several other speed dating events. I can't lose any more chances to find someone that will marry me. You can't do this. Please don't leave me. I think we'll be really compatible for each other. Why don't we start over?
Start over? There's nothing between us to start over. You ruined things before they had even begun. But I do pity you. I hope that you'll be able to reflect on your actions and find someone who you can respect and treat a lot better than you treated me. First, you'll have to get over yourself, old woman.
Thanks to Harvey reporting Isabel to the host of the event, she was banned from participating in any other events with the same matchmakers. The senior vice president's comments about her appearance must have bothered her a lot because she had begun to take more care with her clothes and the way she acted around her colleagues. She was wearing less vibrant and patterned clothing and had become more and more monotone. Apparently, her existence had become more and more dull and invisible. Seems that she's putting a lot of effort into her online profiles on matching and dating apps, but considering her standards and her personality, it looks like she's having a lot of trouble finding someone who earns $100,000 annually. As for Harvey, he settled down with the next woman he met, who was also fond of cooking, and enjoyed eating out at places that were friendly and comfortable together rather than stiff black tie restaurants. His business is on the rise and he's looking forward to when his son or daughter will be born.